Hello everyone, today we're talking about something that feels almost unreal in the modern automotive world. The 2026 Plymouth HEMI Cuda. Even the name alone carries weight. It connects straight back to the golden era of American muscle cars, when displacement mattered, sound mattered, and driving emotion was everything. But this 2026 interpretation is not just a copy of the past. It feels like a reimagined version of what the HEMI Cuda could be if it evolved with modern engineering, modern safety, and modern performance expectations, while still keeping that raw muscle car soul alive. The first impression of the 2026 HEMI Cuda is all about stance and presence. It sits low, wide, and aggressive in a way that immediately tells you this is not a soft modern cruiser trying to look retro. This is a performance machine first, and everything else comes second. The long hood dominates the profile, and that alone gives it a classic muscle car silhouette. You can almost trace the original design language from the 1970s, but every panel has been tightened, smoothed, and sharpened for modern aerodynamics. The front end carries a bold identity. A wide grille opens up like a deep intake, designed not just for looks, but for actual airflow. The headlights are slim and modern, but they still carry a hint of circular inspiration from the original Cuda design. There's a subtle balance here between retro and futuristic. Nothing feels overdone. It's aggressive, but not chaotic. The kind of design that looks just as good standing still as it does at speed. When you move along the side, the proportions really start to tell the story. The cabin is pushed slightly rearward, giving that classic long hood, short deck muscle car proportion. The wheel arches are flared, hinting at wide performance tires underneath. You don't even need to know the specs to understand what this car is about. It looks fast, even when parked. At the rear, the design becomes even more emotional. A clean but muscular tail section, with LED tail lamps that echo the original rectangular design. There's a modern light bar integration, but it doesn't take away from the heritage feel. Quad exhaust outlets sit low and wide, signaling that this car is still very much about internal combustion power and raw sound. Now, stepping inside the 2026 HEMI Cuda, the first thing you notice is how the interior blends nostalgia with modern performance design. It's not a luxury lounge like a European GT car, and it's not a stripped-out race cockpit either. It sits somewhere in between. The seating position is low, almost tucked into the chassis, giving you that cockpit-like feeling. The dashboard is angled slightly toward the driver, reinforcing that this car is meant to be driven, not just ridden in. A fully digital instrument cluster sits behind the steering wheel, but the graphics are designed to feel analog-inspired, with simulated gauges and performance readouts that echo classic muscle car dials. In the center, a modern infotainment system handles navigation, media, and vehicle settings, but it doesn't dominate the cabin. Materials inside feel purposeful. You'll find a mix of leather, Alcantara, and exposed trim elements that remind you this is still a performance-first machine. There's a sense of durability rather than delicate luxury. The steering wheel is thick, flat-bottomed, and designed for control during spirited driving. Paddle shifters sit behind it, giving manual control over gear changes. Even if most of the time the car's automatic system does a very efficient job on its own. Now, the most important part of any HEMI Cuda discussion is the engine. This modern version is expected to carry a heavily evolved HEMI V8, likely in the range of a supercharged 6.2-liter or an updated large displacement, naturally aspirated or hybrid-assisted V8, depending on configuration. But regardless of exact tuning, the philosophy remains the same. Big power, instant response, and a sound that you don't just hear but feel through your entire body. When you start the engine, it doesn't whisper. It wakes up with intention. There's a deep mechanical rumble that immediately settles into a powerful idle. The whole car vibrates slightly, reminding you that this is not an electric simulation of speed. This is real combustion, real pressure, real mechanical movement happening under the hood. Throttle response is immediate. Even the slightest input changes the character of the car. In normal driving mode, the HEMI Cuda is surprisingly manageable. It can behave politely in traffic, keeping the power delivery smooth and controlled. But you always feel the presence of that power waiting underneath. It never disappears. It just stays restrained. The moment you switch into a performance or track-oriented mode, everything sharpens. The throttle becomes more sensitive, the exhaust opens up, and the transmission holds gears longer. The car feels like it wakes up fully. acceleration becomes violent in the best possible way. The rear wheels feel alive, and traction becomes something you manage rather than something you take for granted. In a straight line, the 2026 HEMI Cuda is expected to deliver extreme performance. We are talking about supercar-level acceleration, likely capable of 0 to 60 miles per hour times in the low 3-second range, depending on configuration. But numbers alone don't explain the experience. What matters more is how it delivers that speed. It doesn't feel clinical. It feels emotional, almost chaotic, but controlled at the same time. The rear-wheel drive layout plays a huge role in this character. Unlike all-wheel drive performance cars that prioritize grip and stability, this setup gives the driver more involvement. You feel the rear tires working. You feel weight transfer under acceleration. You feel the car squat slightly as power is sent to the ground. It creates a physical connection between driver and machine that modern cars often try to filter out. Handling is where things get interesting. A classic muscle car was never known for cornering precision, but this modern HEMI Cuda changes that completely. The chassis has been significantly stiffened compared to older generations, and suspension geometry has been tuned for real-world performance driving. When entering corners, the front end feels sharp and responsive. Turn-in is quicker than you would expect from a car with this kind of power and presence. Mid-corner balance is stable, and there is enough feedback through the steering wheel to understand what the front tires are doing. It's not overly artificial or overly light. It feels connected in a traditional sense. The rear end, however, is where the personality really shows. On throttle, it can rotate. If you push it, the car will slide. But it does so in a way that feels progressive rather than unpredictable. You are always aware of what's happening, and that awareness is what makes it fun instead of frightening. Braking performance matches the power level. Large performance brake discs provide strong stopping force, and pedal feel is tuned to allow modulation rather than on-off aggression. In a car like this, confidence under braking is essential, especially when approaching corners at high speed. The system is designed to handle repeated hard stops without fading quickly, which is important for spirited driving or track use. Now, one of the most important aspects of the 2026 HEMI Cuda is its sound character. Modern regulations have made it difficult for performance cars to sound truly wild, but this car still manages to preserve a deep, aggressive V8 tone. At idle, it has a slow, heavy pulse. Under acceleration, it builds into a roaring mechanical scream that fills the cabin and echoes off surrounding structures. Inside the cabin, sound insulation is controlled but not excessive. You still hear the engine clearly, but it's not overwhelming during normal driving. When you want it louder, you open the system up through drive modes or exhaust settings, and the full character comes alive. On highways, the car settles into a comfortable but firm cruise. It's not a soft luxury cruiser, and it doesn't pretend to be. There's road feedback, tire presence, and a sense of motion that keeps you aware of speed at all times. Long-distance driving is possible, but the experience always feels active rather than passive. Fuel consumption, of course, is not the focus here. A high-performance V8 like this is designed for emotion and performance, not efficiency. In relaxed driving, it can manage moderate consumption, but when driven as intended, fuel use rises significantly. That's part of the trade-off that comes with this kind of machine. Technology inside the 2026 HEMI Cuda supports the driver without taking away control. Multiple drive modes adjust throttle response, suspension stiffness, traction control thresholds, and steering weight. Stability systems are present, but they are designed to intervene subtly rather than aggressively. In some modes, they allow controlled slip, which is important for a rear-wheel drive performance car with this level of power. There is also a performance data system that tracks acceleration, lap times, G-forces, and other telemetry. It turns the car into something you can analyze and improve with over time, especially if you take it to a track or open road environment.
But I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. Something's changed, baby, this I know. Summer rains turn to winter snow, but I promise you for sure, girl, my love is always yours. that I love to put a smile on your pretty little face. I love it when you're close to me. That's where I want you to always be. I didn't know when I found you that I would find a love so true.